Ophthalmic and dermatologic agents. The eyes and skin are subject to influences from both internal and external sources. There are several disease processes and illnesses which affect the eyes and skin. A brief review of normal anatomy and physiology of the eyes and skin is presented. Drug classes which are used to treat selected disease processes and illnesses of the eyes and skin, along with applicable lab tests and patient education, are discussed. Here are your objectives, and these are your reading assignments. Let's review the anatomy and physiology of the eyes. The sclera is a tough white coat of fibrous tissue that surrounds the entire eyeball, except for the cornea. It helps maintain the shape of the eye, and it's commonly called the white of the eyes. The eyelids. The eyelids are movable and can open or close, and then they protect our eyes when closed and allow vision when open. The conjunctiva, so this is the lining over here in between the eyelids and the sclera. It is basically a lining that consists of clear mucous membrane that lines the inner portion of the eyelids and also covers the exposed anterior surface of the eyeball. It helps provide lubrication. Now let's talk about the internal anatomy of the eye. The cornea. Cornea is over here. You see this lining? So the cornea is a transparent anterior portion of the eye. It sits in front of the lens and acts as the eye's outermost lens. It functions like a window that controls and focuses entry of light. There is no blood supply in this area, and it receives its nourishment from tears and aqueous humor. The anterior chamber, so this area over here, is the bubble-like portion of the front of the eye between the iris and the cornea. The lens is a transparent curved structure of the eye located behind the iris and the pupil along with the cornea. This helps refract light to be focused by the retina. The iris is a round muscular portion of the eye that gives the eye its color and controls the amount of light passing through the pupil by pupil constriction and pupil dilation. This is the posterior chamber. The posterior chamber is filled with watery fluid known as vitreous humor. The aqueous humor passes into the posterior chamber and then flows forward through the pupil into the anterior chamber of the eye. Next, you have the optic nerve. The optic nerve is a major nerve that connects the posterior end of each eye to the brain, to which it transmits visual signals and interprets incoming visual stimuli. The retina is the innermost layer of the eye. It contains both rods that help see black and white vision and cones which helps with color vision that receives visual stimuli and transmit them to the optic nerve. And these are your central retinal artery and vein. These are the vessels that carry blood into the eye and supply nutrition to the retina, and then the veins carry the blood out of the retina. Physiology. Fluid. For the blood flow, as mentioned earlier, these are your central artery and vein of the retina. So the central artery and vein carries the blood into the eye and supplies nutrition to the retina and carries blood away from the retina. The vitreous humor is the fluid that fills the posterior chamber of the eye. The aqueous humor is the fluid that fills the anterior chamber of the eye. So these two contribute to the intraocular pressures. Tears. They are produced by the lacrimal glands. The glands are located at the medial corners of the eyelids that produce tears. The ducts, or the nasolacrimal ducts, they're small tubes that drain tears from the lacrimal glands into the nasal cavity. For the vision, rods are basically responsible for black and white and peripheral vision, and cones are responsible for color and straight-ahead vision. Muscle movement. So the eyes are held in place by 6 muscles controlled by the cranial nerves. Nervous system. The nervous tissues in the retina is connected to the brain through the optic nerve, so that allows the communication between the eye and the brain.